All right, welcome back. It is time for Shoulder Tap.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Time to share some success. And of course, time to avoid failure. Let's bring in our risk manager, Mick, to share who's doing well and who needs a kick in the butt.
Hey, what's
Mick,
up, Eddie?
what's up, Mick? Hey, before we move forward, Mick, risk manager, can you break that down for us? I know we've got a lot of new people. What do you do, and how do you want the help that you give to our traders, our funded traders?
Yeah, good question, Eddie. I know you're always good about bringing that up when we're doing these segments together. So, risk team, myself, my other colleagues, Ben, who you've seen, Brett, and our risk analyst, Jacob, we're monitoring the live accounts and we're looking at all the trading activity. And I say live accounts, I mean funded level accounts. So, we are keeping an eye on all the risk exposure for the firm. On both the simulated side of things as well as the live side of things. And it's our job, one of our main accountabilities, I would say, is determining which of these funded traders that's in the XFAs actually gets pulled up to the live account. We want to make sure that we're only bringing up the best of the best from what we see on the trading activity. And then once those traders get called up to live, it's our job to keep them in the live accounts as long as possible through, having conversations with those traders about locking in profits, limiting losses, making suggestions about, position sizing and personal loss limits or loss limit expansion. So there's a lot that goes into that. Personally, I wear a lot of hats here at Topstep and even outside of, funded trader stuff.
Right.
But I think in a nutshell, that's really what it is. And then we're always here, we've got all these technologies that we have, our auto liquidation tools, all that kind of stuff. I mean, we need to make sure that if there's any issues with that, those technologies, that we're there to, manually intervene. So that's a quick, light summary of all the stuff we do. As a matter of fact, right before I hopped on here with Eddie, I was telling Eddie, I was like, I've been pulled in many different directions this morning with things that I had to prioritize other than, putting trading cards together for TopstepTV. So we only have a couple trading cards today. So we might be a little light on traders that we're talking about, but we're going to find some ways to fill the space today.
Right.
So yeah, risk, we're on the trading operations side of thing for our funded traders.
Right. And if you are funded, there's been times, I know, Mick, probably you too, where you sort of made a decision and said, my boy, that was the wrong decision. And when you do have somebody that can actually say,
hey, what are you trying to do?
That can definitely help. And it makes you think twice. And I tell you, having you guys able to contact our traders, that's a blessing. You've helped so many traders at least keep the money in their pocket and trade for tomorrow, which is the basis of what we're trying to do here.
Absolutely. Capital preservation is goal number one. And that, we're all here to make money, but capital preservation is goal number one. Hold on a sec, Eddie. I caught a cold yesterday, and if I have to stop and sneeze, I apologize. I've hit runny nose, sneezing, coughing, that kind of thing. Good thing we're not in the same room right now. I'm all here to myself in the office today, so I don't think I'll be passing it along to anybody. Yeah, as far as decisions, like if you're referring to the XFA live call up process, Eddie, there's people that every time we call someone up to live, we have good reason behind our decisions. And in hindsight, sometimes traders change what they're doing, things change, market states change, things going on in their personal life. We know personal life can affect your trading. Every call up we make, even if it doesn't work out and, we have someone that we call up to live and they fall flat on their face, I wouldn't say we ever have any. Now, I might think that the trading and the outcome is regrettable, but we always have a good reason for doing what we do. So I stand pretty confident and firm and not feeling like we're making mistakes because we're making a decision based off of the information, the recent information that we have in front of us. So if we like what we see, yes. And we look at so much information. When it comes to that XFA to live call up, we're turning over every stone. We're not just looking at that person's 1XFA or the 3XFAs that they might have. We're looking at their history, how many accounts that they've had. What did they do in the trading combine? Are they a habitual resetter? We look at everything. So we take the best information that we have to make the best decision that we have. And I'm pretty comfortable with that, even if it doesn't work out. Obviously, we want to see people that perform well in XFAs continue to perform well. It's not always the case. Everybody out there that's listening right now, Eddie, knows how hard it is to trade and how hard it is to maintain consistent profitability over a longer period of time, because we're not trading the same markets every single day. We've got 5 sessions every week that are all unique. And in this, economic environment out there, it's changing every day too. So things are always changing, which is why I firmly believe that the money management is first and foremost. If you can manage your money, you'll be able to be more nimble through different environments as, factors change in the marketplace with these products that we're trading.
Nice.
Good question.
Thanks, Mick.
Yeah.
Right. So who do we have on the chopping block?
We don't have anybody on the chopping block today. I actually have nothing. I have nothing but good things to share. So yesterday, Eddie,
right.
I had 3 shoulder taps for our live traders. Today, I don't have any shoulder taps. I've got nothing but shout outs. And I'm going to start these shout outs with our own internal coach, Coach DBA, Coach Dakota. Dakota had a stellar day. He didn't have a stellar day yesterday. Today, I was thinking of someone else. I was thinking of Pin Sin from yesterday. They made 18,300 yesterday, yeah. And they gave a little bit of it back today, but they're still up over 15,000 after the 2 days. They hit their daily loss limit today. My highlight goes to Coach Dakota, as I was starting to talk about and then got distracted. He's up over $12,000 today, and he's got $102,000 in his live account. So he's breached the 6-figure mark with this trading activity today. And he's probably the hottest trader we've got right now in our program at the funded level. He's been doing really well. I've had a number of conversations with him via messaging or over the phone, and he's got a very good head on his shoulders. We just recently expanded some of his risk parameters. End of last week. He's sitting there with a $9,000 daily loss limit now. And what did we up his position sizing to? I think we wanted to he might be at 45 contracts or 35 contracts right now. I will say, very important to note here, he's not trading as large as he can. And I always think that's a smart, mature stance. Just because I could go trade 1,000 contracts in the market doesn't mean I'm going to put 1,000 contracts on. He's trading well within his boundaries, and he's kicking ass. He's really in tune with the markets right now, especially that NASDAQ that he's trading. I'm really impressed. He's doing extremely well. But he's only one of many funded traders that are doing well today. We've got Solomon, who I did give a shoulder tap to yesterday. He's up over $11,000 today, so really happy about that. I remember was it one of our traders? I've given these shoulder taps before, and I feel like the traders that might hear me giving them a shoulder tap say to themselves, "Oh, I'm going to show Mick." And I think Solomon's showing me today after I gave him a shoulder tap yesterday, making $11,000. So I like that. I love that. That's great.
Yeah, big turnaround.
I want some more of that. So Xavier's up 6,900 in his live account. Venkata up 7,000 in their live account. There's a bunch of other notable days in the 4-figure range, but those are some of the big boys and girls that I wanted to mention doing really, really well today. Now that I'm thinking about Dakota again, I'm tempted to turn over my shoulder and see what he's got going right now, because I know he had a small position. He had a little bit bigger size on earlier this morning that got him up to the $12,000 mark, and now he's just, last I saw, he had 3 on. So he's trading well within his means. And anyways, those are just some shout outs for today, but let's, I don't want to get caught up on that. Definitely good stuff to talk about, but I want I want to pull up Brian's card. Brian is someone that we called up from XFA to live yesterday. They're in a 50K trading out of New York, and Brian has been averaging $409 per day, and that's over 25 days in the XFA. These are really good metrics here for trading the S&Ps. He's hit 76% winning days, and he's putting up 65% winning trades. His average winning day is right about the same, the average losing day. Eddie, we talk about it all the time. Nobody's got any business risking more on their biggest losing day than they make on their average winning day. So Brian is keeping it right there, and I want to see him continue that in the live account. Brian, if you're watching, I really like that. Keep it up. And then up on a per contract basis, we're talking about 1-to-1 risk reward. Basically, he's taking down $225 per contract while only risking $245. Yeah, the losses are a little bit bigger per contract, but I'll call that 1-to-1 right there. And he's right 65% of the time. So more than half the time, if you're profitable more than half the time at 1-to-1, you're still profitable. And that's where we're getting the $409 per day. I also really like here, biggest winning day, 3,600 plus, and his worst day, it's contained at that 50K daily loss limit of $1,000.
Right.
So that's really nice there. I always like seeing these traders that can put up big 4-figure winning days or decent 4-figure winning days that are capping themselves at $1,000 loss on the day. I actually think that there's a lot of people out there that could probably be better served in a 50K account as opposed to the 150K account because of that smaller loss limit in there. I do see a number of people that can make a lot of money in the 50K account where we're seeing, best day, $3,600, average winning day, bigger than this $817 average winning day. And that's always a special thing when I see someone who could on average put up, $2,000 on their average winning day, but only risk $1,000. I like that a lot. And then Brian's really selective. If you take a peek at this trade report, they're averaging about 5 trades per day, but there's a lot of days where I shouldn't say a lot. There's some days where they're only taking 1 trade. And I like that too. It's being selective, and they're really good at, they're really good at taking payouts, maybe a little too good, because we want to always, keep an eye on what we're maintaining in our account balance. But those losing days are not getting away from them. So it's less of a concern than the people that are, putting up less than 50% winning days, and they're having those $3,000 daily loss limit losing days. So all in all, this is a pretty good recipe for success. I like the metrics. I like the trading. They are going to be starting their live account with not a huge sum of money, but I'm not too worried about it because, they're pretty risk averse. So I think this is a recipe for success here.
Right. I got to agree with you here. Just looking at the trade report, I see well-managed consistency. I do not see greed at all. And if he follows what he has done here, my money is on that he's going to be successful. As long as he continues and doesn't get wide-eyed and greedy, I think he's going to do very well. And I think it was a great decision on your part to promote him. Good job on both ends.
Good job on the team, because I know that was Ben and Brett yesterday that called him up to live, and I definitely concur with their discretion. Something else I really like that's not mentioned on this card, Eddie, is these hold times. He's trading, there's a number of days where he puts on 1 trade. It's a 2 lot. And, his average hold times for each of these is 47 minutes. 47 minutes on the winners, 45 minutes on the losing trades.
Right.
But, this is allowing him to catch a piece of the trend for the day. And I'm really in firm belief of people that are day trading, you're going to do the chances of you doing much better performance-wise are by catching a piece of the trend for the day, as opposed to those traders who are doing a lot of contracts. They're long, they're short, they're long, they're short. I've said it a lot here, but I'm going to keep saying it because I really want to impress that upon everybody that's watching. If you're struggling and you're one of those scalpers who is in and out, you're holding on short time frames, do think about, maybe limiting your trading and come up with a bias and pick a direction for the day and find good trade entries. If the market's rallying, watch it rally in the morning and find that early pullback and get in and try and catch a piece of the trend or the direction for the day. If you're doing that, you're going to take a lot less heat. I talked yesterday, or I should say we spoke yesterday about a couple traders that had very, very short time spent in these trading sessions. I'd have to flip my card over. I think it was Salmon and Alba, two of the traders I featured yesterday, that there were a couple days where they spent 1 minute trading before hitting their daily loss limit. So, those people might be buying new highs as the market's going up, and then they're having to puke the trade when that market gives you the nice pullback where you should actually be putting the trade on. So always finding good trade location helps the big traders, the small traders, and those that might be entering the trades, entering their positions with small size. It really gives you that much more confidence when you start, adding to that winning position as you're being proven correct in the markets. And then that allows you to hold longer, catch a piece of the trend for the day. And that's where I see the most success from our funded traders here at Topstep.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
What else do we got next?
Let's take a peek at Balkeron.
Ooh, Balkeron.
Balkeron out of Ozone Park, New York. Now, this is one of the most impressive trade reports I've looked at. I'd love for you to look it up, Eddie, if you haven't already clicked on it.
I got it right in front of me.
Balkeron is killing. He's putting up massive winning days. And guess what? He's like trading 2 contracts on average. He is he's a killer. We called him up from one of his XFAs. He's still in another XFA, so he's going to be going live on this one. But averaging $3,300 over 23 days. Honestly,
crazy.
We kept this trader in an XFA a little bit longer and actually expanded their cap from 50,000 to a higher value because I was just kind of thinking like this is, they're on a hot streak. This is almost too good to be true. Again, proven wrong, and he hit the expanded cap. So he's been putting up $3,300 on average over 23 trading days in this XFA. This is just really, really good stuff. Before I'll let the viewers look at the metrics on the winning trades and the winning days and the average winning days and average losing days. These metrics are really, really staggering, and it's all been solid performance. Like I'm not gonna, we see numbers on cards like this, and I say this is a big swinger. It's a big swinger. He's putting up big numbers, but he's not a big swinger. He's not trading the big size, but he's outperforming some of the people that are big swingers on their best days. He's just not having that many poor days either here, being right on 3/4 of his trades and then being right on almost over 3/4 of his days. The thing I want to highlight here most is, there it is, number one on the things I like, the hold times. I just got done talking about Brian and catching a piece of the trend for the day with his 45 minutes spent in the winning trades. Balkeron, on average, is spending 3.5 hours in his winning trades. He's also spending 3.5 hours on the losing trades.
That's a long
Interesting.
time.
It's a long time. He's able to spend a lot of time on those losing trades because he's trading like 2 contracts. Yeah, he's patient. He doesn't have his back against the wall because he's got 15 contracts on. There have been a couple sessions, like look at that session on April 2nd at the beginning of the month. He spent 11 hours and 20 minutes riding out a winning trade.
I see that
in there. Yeah, and that was again, a small position, but this guy, he's trading smaller than he can, something I just said I loved. He's got long hold times, something that I love. And what's this? He had a $14,000 winning day.
April 5th
last week, trading 2 lots.
Yeah, there you go.
There's some other big notable days. I mean, you've got to have a lot of large days to generate, an average winning day of $5,300. But like, I just want to go down the list. Like yesterday made 4,300. Day before that, almost 15,000, 6,300, 3,000, 5,000, 5,000, 7,000, 5,000. Like big days to the point where usually, yeah, it's so impressive. Usually when I see this, I'm like, all right, when's this going to change? The guy's got the horseshoe, holding the horseshoe, but he just kept going and kept going and kept going. So he's taken a lot in payouts from this account too, to the tune, it looks like roughly like 30 something. He's under 40 grand in payouts, but almost 40,000 in payouts. Guys, that's 40K in 23 trading days. Big numbers here. Yeah. And he's going to be transferring to live with a big account as well. So, I mean, this is really what I like to see. I'm surprised by this activity.
He's trading the S&Ps and the NASDAQ almost about even. He's back and forth. I'm checking that on the trade report here right now. So, I mean, he's making money in both, which is very nice.
Definitely. Hey guys, JD button in. I also want to point out for Balkaran, he was not on our top 10 list today because his funds are being transferred to the live account. I meant to mention that today. Yesterday, Balkaran was number 2 on our top 10 list, and he'll be back on the list as soon as those transfers are completed.
Get him back.
And on payouts, on the dashboard I'm looking at, Mick, I'm showing a total of $78,000 in payouts. Does that mean he's probably taken close to 40 per account? That sound about right?
Exactly right, JD.
Crazy.
Exactly right. That's big. Yeah. I said Coach Dakota is number 1 right now. Balkaran's going to be nipping at his heels, I think. So while I don't think that should be motivation for Dalton to be doing anything different, remember, this is an individual sport. We have our competitors out there, but you don't want to be doing anything in your account with your trading based off of what somebody else is doing in their account. It's a zero-sum game where for every dollar that's made, there's a dollar lost in somebody else's account. So, just keep that in mind, Dalton. You're doing well just as it is without hearing about Balkaran. So keep that great work up. And then Balkaran, hopefully he keeps the great work up. I have full confidence that these guys are going to continue forging their way forward. And we're going to start seeing some bigger account balances on these leaderboards, no doubt.
Nice. Hey, Mick, we are running out of time here. Real quick here, Jeff had a question. He says he'd like to hear your thoughts on slowly averaging into the red, and how can it set you up for a great trade profit as long as you scale in slowly to a losing trade. What's your thoughts on that?
So, couple thoughts. It's a great question. I'd have to get a little bit more context into Jeff's strategy, but I will say one thing. Like, let's say, Jeff, if you have the ability to trade up to 10 contracts on a position, usually the only time that it's acceptable or okay to add to a losing trade is if you are one of these traders like Brian and Balkaran that I mentioned, where especially Balkaran, where they have a higher, they're trading on a higher time frame. So if I am looking to hold a trade for an entire session, and I think that, basically if you're adding to a losing trade, you've got to have bigger sights set for how far the market can go in your favor. It's all about managing your risk reward on the trade, that individual trade. But I'll use myself as an example. I like trading on a higher time frame. I might hold trades for probably at a minimum 2 weeks if I put something on. If I like buying crude oil Eddie, where's crude oil trading right now?
Crude right now here, we're looking at, down to low, 85.27 last.
Okay, so I might be looking at a crude chart, and I'm not saying the current daily chart, but if I'm looking at a crude chart and I like it's trading 87. If I like buying crude oil around the $84 to $83 range, I'm going to call that a zone. And I might, let's say we trade down there. I might start buying a little bit of crude oil around $84. I might buy a little bit at $83.50. I might buy a little at 83. Now, yes, I am adding to a trade that's going against my average price, but because I'm thinking about that trade as I like this zone for a long, because I'm buying 84s to 83s because I think we're going to get to 94, that's okay. So I think you have to be doing that on a higher time frame. You don't want to be trading on a short time frame, Jeff, and just saying, "Oh, it's going against me. I'm going to buy it here to lower my average price in hopes of it trading up." That hope word I used, you don't want to be hoping, but I think it's acceptable if you're doing it across a zone. But as you're buying more as the market's going down, you better have your exit predetermined, and you have to be in a position where you're okay to accept that, like, this market's not falling the way that I want it to. It could get ugly, and be able to just say, you know what, I'm going to take a loss here and not add any more on. But I think that's one thing that really trips up day traders that are on a short time frame, is adding to the losing trades. But again, if you like, the S&Ps between a certain prices and call that your buy zone, then that's your buy zone, and you have reason to believe it's going to carry to a higher level.
Right.
Long-winded
Mick,
answer, Jeff. Thank you for that question. That's a very good one.
Yes. All right, Mick. Well, thank you very much for being with us here. Keep an eye on our traders. And hey, a lot of talk here in the chat. Roast my combine. If you want Mick to take a look at that, I'm going to put add the form here. Fill out that form, and you might be one of the lucky winners to have your combine roasted. But otherwise, Mick, have a great day. Nice seeing you, brother. Until next time, we'll be right back with group coaching.